Welcome back. This is chapter 3 of the book, and in this chapter we're going to discuss 3 things. The first is we're going to discuss the foundational aspects of ethics. Then we're going to discuss the concept of what is an issue and what is a dilemma. And then in the final part we're going to take these concepts that we just learned and apply them to some situations. So let's start out. First, what are the foundational pillars of ethics? Now, excuse me. The first one is integrity. Integrity looks at a company as a group of components. In order to be ethical, every component must be ethical. Because if a component isn't, that lack of compliance with ethical guidelines, with legal norms, invades the whole company. And the company as a whole becomes unethical. Honesty, the idea that the company is honest not only with those that within its own operation, in other words, its employees, its shareholders, but throughout all of its dealings with third parties, stakeholders, etc. That's what honesty goes to. And fairness. Fairness is a concept. Obviously, there's the idea you want to be fair. You don't want to be mean to somebody, right? But also fairness goes to the idea that everybody that you come in contact with as a company is going to be treated the same way, okay? That the same level of care, the same level of concern, the same level of discernment, so to speak, will be applied to everyone, regardless of what station they are, from the lowliest of companies providing, janitorial services or a small component of the bigger machine to the fellow that's in the penthouse and that's giving you all your finance money. Everybody gets treated with the same level of care, concern, and discernment. That's the idea of fairness. So if you take these are the concepts we're going to work on, how do we apply them to situations? And it's very important sometimes to have the right word that we're using as we describe a situation. And that's when we come to the issue or the concern of what is an issue and what is a dilemma. Now, let's look at what an issue is first. An issue is an acute event. In other words, acute means one-time event. It's not repeating itself over and over again. There are good and there are bad choices. You can do a good thing or a bad thing. I'll give you an example of an acute event. Company notes that on the second quarter of its financials, it notes that it had an accounting error. Maybe it added the numbers wrong. Okay? Or it was reporting on 4 divisions and only division information on 3 got into the report. Now, nobody but the company might know that, and it might have no appreciable impact on the overall financial position of the company, but the company's aware of it. It's one time, they found it, they corrected it, it's not going to be happening again. There are good and bad choices, to report it, to not report it, to fix it, to not fix it. It's one time. Now, a dilemma refers to the idea of something that's chronic. Okay? And under this situation, there are no good choices, and there may only be less bad ones. Okay? So a chronic situation, the idea is that of repetition. So for example, one you might think of as this. You're operating a coal-fired plant. You have scrubbers that take the pollutants out of the air, and those scrubbers over time break down, and then it becomes necessary to fix them. But the only people that really know, because they're not measuring this per se yet, is yourself. How much pollutants you're putting out. And so the question becomes, how often am I going to fix these things? Because I know they're going to break down again. Or do I start trying to stretch them out because I'm able to increase my bottom line? There's no good choice. You're going to spend the money. And if you don't spend the money, the situation is only going to get worse. And the less bad choices are how much do you spend, when do you spend it, why do you spend it, all these other things going on. Okay? But it's the idea that there's just no good choice here. You've got to do it, or something bad's going to happen, but when you do it, how you do it, the degree to which you do it, all come into play. Now, the most important thing that I want you to take away from this part of the book and this part of the discussion is this. When you do your analysis of something, an issue or a dilemma, don't focus on saying to yourself, I have to put it in a pigeonhole right away. In other words, don't look at what is the left side, the word. Okay? I want you to look at the right side over here. In other words, just as we discussed when somebody's a stakeholder, they're on a spectrum, when something is an issue or dilemma is on a spectrum. Something is acute, but if it's repeated over and over again, it now morphs toward being chronic. Okay? If you say, I've only got good and bad choices, but the good and bad choices is a function of passage of time, start to move toward a point where they're the same choice. Now there's no good choices, and there might not even be less bad ones. It's just one choice, and it's not that great. Okay? So the idea of what is an issue, what is a dilemma, these are extremes, right? Where it's acute and it does this, or it's dilemma, it does this. But between these two extremes, as is everything we're having a discussion about, there is a gray area. And so as you look at things, right, you might be saying to yourself, right, well, it started out as an issue and it became a dilemma. Or it's an issue that's morphing into a dilemma. Or because we were able to treat it effectively, it's gone from a dilemma down, but it remains as an issue. Okay? The way to best think about this, we've been using through our discussions the idea that companies are biological organisms that react to their environment. If a biological organism, say a human, gets a cut, the cut will heal. That's acute, right? It's a good choice, the cut will heal. How to treat it, Neosporin and Band-Aid. Okay, so it's acute. But if a person gets, let's say, heart disease or diabetes, okay, now it's a chronic condition. No matter what you do, the pancreas won't be able to create the insulin, and they won't be able to absorb sugar in a regulated fashion. They're going to be diabetic. Or because of the structure of their heart, their veins, etc., genetic predisposition, they're always going to have a heart condition. It's chronic. And you really don't have good choices because how do you treat the person? Take away food, not have them eat certain things, etc. Okay? There's only a whole bunch of less bad choices for the person, and that's chronic. Okay? But if the person were to watch their diet and all the rest, it might move more toward acute. It's the same thing with companies. And that's the same thing. We're almost like doctors in a business here, right? We look at the business, we discern, okay, this is going on in the business, this is going on in the business. We're able to discern where we go on the spectrum. And with that in mind, that gets us to the next point. Types of issues and dilemmas. We have a big list here, a laundry list of things that ethically might present us as we go through our careers. You can almost always say, well, you know what, we can put them in a category of issue or dilemma, depending on the facts that are presented to us. A one-time lie might be an issue, but a chronic lie, where we're constantly giving false information, becomes a dilemma. Right? A privacy violation on one occurrence might just be an issue. But if we're constantly doing things that violate the privacy rights of individuals or other companies, it becomes a dilemma. So that's what I'm saying is you do your analysis and you look and say, okay, the type of event that we're having is X. Okay? Figure out where you're at here, right? On your laundry list, so to speak, of events. Then you can delve into, is it acute, is it chronic? Are there good choices, bad choices, are there no choices? And that's why I say, this is a laundry list, but it's a starting point. Okay? Those are the concepts that are presented in Chapter 3, and we'll now be moving on to other chapters. Hope you enjoyed this one, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.